My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is November 5th, 2024. It is 1:23 a.m. This is video number 2. Today is our election day in America. May God bless all the people who are voting today. There have been a lot of people who have already voted. So let's just hope we keep democracy alive, because the world is waiting for America to move in a dark place. Okay, I did a prayer on my first video focusing on that. So let me not go back to that again, because I have some stuff to share with you. All right, so the numbers haven't changed. 4,457 subscribers, new subscribers, welcome. Estimate revenue, $118.88. Analytics, 725 views in the last 48 hours. Please like, share, and subscribe, and to help support this channel. All right, so let's go on Twitter. This is the first tweet. It's a long thread. Breaking. The King and Prince William are using their estate largely seized by medieval monarchs for tax-free deals with government departments to maintain their wealth. The King will charge a London NHS trust over £11 million in 15 years for ambulance parking at a duchy warehouse, while the Ministry of Justice pays £1.5 million a year to William's duchy for Dartmoor prison. The royal also charged for crossing rivers, a floating cargo, oh my god, running cable under beaches, operating school and charities, and even digging graves. Up to the UK. I'm just sharing, and then I'll insert my opinion here and there, but it's up to the UK. Follow for the very latest political news and a major investigation by the Sunday Times and Channel 4 dispatches all 5,410 land holdings and properties held by the Royal Duchy are revealed. Parliament had been denied access to the list of land holding held by the royals. Okay, that's pretty long. Land holding by the... Okay, Parliament... Okay, alright. Story. Okay, so this is an article. Okay, so that's a pretty long... Oh, wow. Okay, I'll leave the link in the description because this is pretty long. Okay, maybe on another time. Wow, it's pretty long. But let me focus on the tweet aspect only. The link of this will be in the description, okay? Alright, Channel 4 despite... Okay, it's repeating again. The Duchy of Lancaster spokesman said, quote, let me open it. Oh my god. The Duchy of Lancaster operates as a commercial company managing a broad range of land and property assets across England and Wales. It complies with all relevant UK legislation and regulatory standards applicable to each range of business activities. But if they're making all of that money, why do they need the taxpayers' money? Something is not right. Why do they need to be funded by taxpayers when whatever they have is making that much money? Well, this is another thing that's up to the UK. While His Majesty the King takes a close interest in the work of the duchy, the day-to-day management of the portfolio is the responsibility of the council and executive team. The financial and environmental performance of the duchy is disclosed each year in our published report and accounts, which are independently audited and freely available on the Duchy Lancaster website. The duchy has made a number of key environmental improvements in recent years, delivering a significant increase in the number of A+, A, and B EPC rating awarded to our properties as a result of refurbishment or restoration work. A Duchy of Cornwall spokesman said, "The Duchy of Cornwall is a private estate I had to take a deep breath on that. The Duchy of Cornwall is a private estate with a commercial imperative which we achieve alongside our commitment to restoring the natural environment and generating positive social impact for our communities. As I'm reading this, I'm thinking some politician or some groups, are eyeing all of these properties where they want that for themselves. Prince William became the Duke of Cornwall in September 2022 and since then has committed to an expensive transformation of the duchy. This includes a significant investment to make the estate net zero by the end of 2032, as well as establishing targeted mental health. Oh my God, these people with their mental health thing. These are the people who create mental issues on other people. My God. Establishing targeted mental health support for our tenant and working with local partners to help tackle homelessness in Cornwall. These are just word salad. In my last video where we were talking about SlumLord and some recording I did, I think I didn't record anything yesterday, the day before or the first or something like that. The third. SlumLord. The properties that people are renting from him have mold and all of that. Maybe this is why they put this other information out regarding the mold on those properties. The Republican Channel 4, they won't tell you how much money they put back because that will spoil their story, wouldn't it? Okay, except their ancestors, and that's a big stretch in itself, rape and pillage their way into land ownership. If the duchy operates as a commercial company, then it should, at the very least, pay corporate tax. That's another thing. This is up to the UK. Also, they've been shown to be slumlord. That's the thing I was saying. Slumlords, and should be prosecuted as such. Abolish the monarchy. So these are for the UK. Oh, what are these? Okay, I'm skipping all these comments here. What is that now? I mean, William is so... Okay, it's only 4 seconds, so forget that one. William is so busy with many things. Why, in my last video, going to South Africa to meet with the president? Why is he wasting other people's time? He has so many important things to be doing. Why is he focusing on trying to compete with his brother? But let's see here. This will be a screenshot. The videos definitely will be a screenshot. It's 1 minute and 7 seconds. Let's listen.
I struggle to think of an individual who would do a better job of leading the conversation.
Well, that's because we have a society that seems to think that people who are born into privilege are somehow the best people in the world. They're not. They're no better than you, Matthew. They're no better than me. They're no better than every other person listening to this programme. Let's be clear about it. I happen to believe that we're all valid human beings, and I don't think he's necessarily better because he's born into privilege. I'm not.
So this is the mindset they made the UK believe. That's the mindset they made the UK believe. But what happened here, I don't know if this type of conversation was starting before Meghan came into the royal family, but because I don't follow them. I didn't follow them prior to that. I still don't follow them, but because of Harry and Meghan union, it made me take a peek into the way these people live. So were these type of conversation were happening before? If not, it's because of Harry and Meghan's union that pretty much shattered that facade of that BS. Because the media, this is the blueprint that they had, the media. And the media had assured, this is the thing here, assured Charles, without them, there won't be anything. So Charles entrusted them, put his faith on them. But again, Harry and Meghan's union just shattered that. Because there's Meghan who went over there, I call it a few minutes, a few seconds. Look how much impact that she did. The Together cookbook, what she did with Smart Work and many other things that she did while she's over there. Meanwhile, these people, they're just throwing words. The media is creating a fantasy, a facade, a narrative, entertainment, like Bojo's sister said, to make the people feel good. But their lives are miserable. They're struggling. But meanwhile, the royal family in the back are stealing their eggs. So when are they gonna do something about it? Again, that has to do with the UK. But at least there are discussion about it now. So let's continue.
A eugenicist, and
but he gets attention, he gets media, doesn't he? He gets press, he gets publicity. He's getting an ITV documentary.
Yeah, but so too could, I suspect, quite a number.
What did they call that documentary? Something. Just look at the screen. I probably will have something on it. What is it? Something abject or failure? Let me look for it. It was very interesting. How did they call it? I think it was Abjects of Failure or something like that. There it is. Prince William documentary branded Abject Failure amid mixed reviews. So he's trying to compete with his brother. There's no passion behind anything that he's doing. This is why people are laughing at him. He sees his brother doing things where Harry literally or truly behind some of the things that he does. But he just throwing things around, and then he has people to cover for him. There's so much people could do for you. But if you yourself are not doing the work or show your capability of that particular work, it will show through. Alright, so let's continue with this.
Other people who have, for example, come up from poverty, people who are now pop media stars or whatever else. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, that's not my world of media stars. And so I'm struggling to think of a person. You asked the wrong guy there. But my point is, there are people who could walk the talk as well as just observe, which is what I think he's doing.
Like Meghan had said, what is it? There was an AOL interview that she did when she gave that letter to that young lady. Near the end of whatever clip that I have, where she said, she wants people, to know that she didn't grow up with all of the things that she has now. It's through education and other things, work hard and, work toward certain things.
Well, I feel a really big responsibility. Like if you have this kind of job and you have an opportunity to have a profile where people are listening to what you're saying, I really, truly think you need to be saying something that's valuable. So yes, you can talk about like, where did Rachel get that pencil skirt? Fine, sure. We can have that conversation. But I'd also like to talk about
women's rights.
Women's rights and like my work with UN Women or with World Vision or humanitarian trips or just really bolstering self-esteem that has nothing to do with the external.
But this is what all these people, those rich people, if you look at the last video that I made, where they're trying to capture democracy. Each one of these wealthy people, they're playing games. They want to do business, but they want to undermine the law, the rules of the game. Okay? So they want to suppress everybody else, but they want to be the one to manage everything, but they don't want to go by the rules. So when other people who's working hard and making ends meet and have bright ideas and things like that, they don't want these people to grow, to become part of that game. But if they do come part of that game, they try to corrupt them. When you see William, for instance, with Beckham, from my understanding, Beckham did not grow up in a rich family. He worked his butt off and play soccer and all of that, and then later on he become what he is now. So prior to that, let's say when Beckham was in his family's type of class system, whatever you may call, probably middle class or working class, I don't know how you call that, peasant class, I don't know. Beckham will not be in William's circle. He will not need him. Instead, he will try to suppress him. But him working his way up, become a good football player and make money and all of that. So now he wants him meaning it's to him. William wants Beckham to be in his circle. But other than that, he will be suppressing other people. They don't want people to grow. When you look at I have a video where the thumbnails is the Union flag. On top of it, you have God. And then in the middle, you have the firm, which consists of the crown and the person who run the crown, which is at that time when I did the video, it was the queen. And then below that are the peasants. And nobody shall pass the firm. That's the way that I see it. No one shall pass the firm. If you are high enough, you're going to become in their circle. This is what Beckham is. Become in his circle. But if you surpass him, they will suppress you. For instance, let's look at Jessica, I probably pronouncing her name wrong. Her Prime Minister of New Zealand. Former Prime Minister of New Zealand. Jacinda Ardern, I believe her name is. When I find out she left her position and then to work with William, I'm like, what the hell? Of all things, she was higher than William. But for some reason, I don't know what comes up. She gave a reason. I have it in one of the videos. But when she, left her position, I don't think her term came up yet. I think she just left it. And then few months later, she joined William to work for William. So this kind of thing. Maybe she didn't fit into the mold of what the world, the Trump world, the Tories world, the way they wanted to move the world in a different direction. Maybe she was not part of that description as a woman. So I don't know. They probably held something against him and tell her to step down and then come to work for William, of all things. I was like, what? I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know what goes behind. She did give her excuse why she's stepping down. I think part of it was to be family, take care of family or something. I don't know. I don't remember what it was in that video. But I was surprised because she handled the COVID very well during that time. That's how I was aware of her mostly. Well, first when Meghan went to visit New Zealand. And then, during COVID, I was keeping tab. Not really tab, but looking into how the COVID, each certain group or certain leaders are managing COVID. She was one of those who did a very good job. So William grabbed her, not really grab her, but make her become part of her team, thinking her popularity will boost him. So she cannot surpass him, this kind of thing. But I never heard of her ever since she joined William. I don't know the position again. I think it had to do with Earthshot or something like that. But anyway, let me hear this one here. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds. And then I'll go to the next tweet.
Money. They are a business. They're there to try and make a profit. They're no do it, just for love.
Oh, that's regarding
William's private estates both claim they are not funded by the taxpayer. But the prison is just one example of many where they are making an income from the taxpayer.
My God.
Just down the road, we found the state school in Preston is paying thousands of pounds in rent every year. And we found at least 6 other state schools that make payments to the Prince of Wales private estate worth nearly £600,000 over the lifetime of the leases.
That needs to go to the derangers.
Elsewhere on Dartmoor, as Prince of Wales, Charles granted a licence for army training on his land. When the Duchy of Cornwall let the cameras in 2 years ago, an official let slip the deal with the Ministry of Defence was a lucrative one.
That is something we would want to see go away. It's a big income stream. His Royal Highness is very keen that we support military training.
Wow. I don't know. It's up to the UK. It's up to the UK. I need to record this by itself so I have it, because once it's embedded in the video, I'll never find it. Let's go to the next tweet. Okay, let's pause. There's more to it here. The royals make millions in profit each year, but this has always been shrouded in secrecy until now. A joint, okay, so that's regarding the documentary. Dispatch and at the time investigation revealed that the King and Prince William are receiving public money through leasing property to public services like the NHS. Wow. And they're just clapping for the NHS during COVID.
Tonight, what Charles and William aren't telling you about their secret millions. Their private estates, the Duchies of Lancaster and Cornwall, make Charles and William £50 million a year. But they have repeatedly refused to reveal exactly which properties they own.
Can we have a report on the list of properties?
I don't see why.
And details of how these estates make their staggering profits and from where have remained secret.
Once they start questioning this thing, I think that's the beginning of the end for them. My goodness.
Until now.
Wow.
God almighty.
This is a really, really important revelation.
Thousands of documents obtained by dispatches reveal how hard up government departments, schools, and even the NHS are helping to keep the cash rolling in for Charles and William.
You're making money off of Zoom. Making money.
And that's gonna be they're gonna be making more money if the system, in terms of, remember, and my old subscribers will know if they saw those things that I sent, those videos. If the NHS or the, how do you call this, the healthcare system in the UK turn like the US, they're going to be making more money. And I warn you guys in the UK, do not turn your healthcare system like the US. It will bankrupt you guys. So if the NHS is paying the firm that much money, they'll be making much more if the healthcare system in the UK turn like the US. It will be a for-profit. So many things gonna be popping up. Let me just say that's a warning. I live in the US. The healthcare system that we have sucks. Okay, they try to fix it, but each time they try to fix it, you know, the money that's going into the politicians' pocket to prevent the reform of our healthcare system. Okay, that's what's gonna happen in the US, in the UK. They prevent it from being better. So fight for what you have now, okay? Because you will be bankrupt to go for a minor procedure. All right, let's continue.
Poor personally.
It's all shrouded in secrecy, isn't it? I don't know why we don't find out more about it, actually.
Because you don't ask.
Shows how the commercial activities of these private estates are undermining their environmental commitments.
Okay, why you don't know about it? Where this guy was saying, I'm moving it back because I did speak over it. Him, you don't know. Let's listen.
All shrouded in secrecy, isn't it? I don't know why we don't find out more about it, actually.
Because the Brits don't ask. It's almost like don't ask, don't tell. So they don't tell you. So if you ask and insist on asking and make sure your representative, I don't know, your MPs do their work, then you will know. Okay? So this is why they're paying them so much money to keep these things blind from the people. And people are working their butt off, don't even have money to pay for food and all of that. So many things. This is what Trump wants to turn the US into. And this is the day where we choose our path. The American people will choose its path. Do we go to this type of system? Because that's what Trump wants to turn the US into. He said he wants to be a dictator for one day. But we know dictators don't give up their power once they have it. So today is the day that I'm recording it, November 5th, election day.
Our evidence shows how the commercial activities of these private estates are undermining their environmental commitments.
Well, this is the worst performing kind of property.
Well, we can reveal to you that the landlord we are talking about is the Duchy of Cornwall, which was managed for about 50 years by Charles, who is now the king,
right,
and is now run by Prince William.
Okay, that does surprise me.
I would like to see what he was looking at. Was it the moldy type of house that I saw in my last video? Not last video, a couple of videos ago.
I think when you own so much, it's hard to
manage,
comprehend how people could appreciate such a small beach. They clearly don't understand who we are.
They are exempt from most of the taxes we all pay, and there are now calls for that to change.
This would be a brilliant time.
Let's just say the Queen did what she needed to do. This, I think, falls on the Queen, because I was aware during the Queen's reign, okay, before certain law passes, goes to her first. She bring her lawyers to look at it. If it's something that will be benefit to her, yeah, she keeps it. If it's not benefit to her, she make them change it. So this needs to change. It's up to the UK.
Time for the monarch to say, I'm going to be open and I want to be treated as fairly as anybody. It is public money, it's taxpayers' money, it's your money, it's my money, it's the viewers' money.
Let's tell the derangers that I need to save these. Let me pause and grab these links for next time to put these in one video. Alright, so let's finish this. Alright, so those music, I need to mute it. There's music in there. Also working with at Daily Mirror to reveal the conditions some of Prince William's tenants are living in. Watch tonight, 8:10. Okay, I feel like I read this in one video. Okay, so, there's videos. Okay, so that's an ad. So this saying that's commercial. With all their tenants and the manner of speaking, how long will these rogue landlords be allowed to continue? Okay, you mean the tenant who live in grade list building who can't be bothered to crack a window open? It's called condensation. They need better tenant. Prince of Wales Duchy accused of allowing homes on royal land to grow moldy. People living in rented properties claim there is lack of insulation and black mold growing in some cases. You mean all houses with condensation? They just need to do some major renovation. With all that money that they're making off of it, they could use a good portion to do, some renovation. Some, might need some, well, they old, so it needs to be, I don't know. This person tag 10 Downing Street. Okay, what are you going to do about this totally disgusting? The British public are being robbed by the royal family. Isn't it time they pay tax like everyone else instead of the British public having to pay more and more taxes and tax rises? Well, that doesn't sound too good. I don't hold much hope for his homeless project then. Cue anti-Meghan article to wash out the bad press at the monarchy in 3-1. The squad knows the routine. All farmhouse and cottage, especially grade 1, 2, and 3 listed buildings, do not have cavity walls, and therefore it makes them impossible to insulate. I'm sure they'll find ways. You must be expecting members of the public to be dumb and swallow up your lies. My grade 2 listed farmhouse fell energy report too. Well, if people are renting, now there are new ways of things. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about these people making excuse. Okay, well, slumlord as well as robber barons. Okay, and the Labour cabinet renting out their taxpayers funded London homes whilst also getting free government digs. Okay, stay on this revelation and condition. Do not let the British royal family and British media use false stories about the Sussexes to divert attention from these issues. Up to the UK. Alright, so I went into that. Okay, so pretty much breaking news from 1361 AD. Royal family make money and pay taxes. They're laughing about it. This is a thing. Again, that's up to the UK. Last year, the Duchy of Lancaster raised £27.4 million for the King, and the Duchy of Cornwall raised £23.6 million for William, which they can use as they see fit. For example, to fund their private homes, personal income, and staff. Charles and Williams are conning the nation. Up to the UK. It's not secret anymore. People knows. They could make excuses after excuses. There it is. It's up to the UK. Thank you for making this program. Are you allowed to tell us what pressure you were put under regarding broadcasting and whether you were forced to remove anything? A lot of us are very interested. Okay, William, Prince of Wales, is a slumlord. Okay, people in the UK living in abject poverty while paying their taxes and rent for William to live in a privileged lifestyle. Disgraceful. Someone please record this for those of us without access to this channel. Let's go to the next tweet. Okay, so this is Omid here. Omid is making reference to this, okay, to this reporting, okay. The next tweet, this is Omid. Alright, it's been 2 days since at the Channel 4 Dispatch and the Times investigative team reported that King Charles and Prince William are secretly making millions from the NHLs, armed forces and UK charities, and not one member of the royal order has published proper follow-up coverage. This is why they didn't like him. This group of royal editors are responsible for the royal coverage in Britain's newspaper, and while further reporting on a story of this magnitude is in the public interest, it's not in theirs. To them, the palace's needs will always be more important than yours. Okay, where is Richard Palmer? This is where they should tag Richard Palmer. Where is Richard Palmer, who only a few weeks ago was fighting with people on Twitter who rightly pointed out that the royal order were simply stenographers for the palace? Where are the hyperbolic articles from Rebecca English, Wayonika, Chris Chips? They have all been nurtured. William and Charles are more important than all the commoners in the UK. These people stay silent and watch a pregnant woman get bullied and abused every single day, and then they deny her care. Yep, as she's saying that, I'm thinking of what's going on in the US now regarding Roe versus Wade. So many women are dying. Okay. Yep, access is more important. The Mirror correspondent is in South Africa as we speak, sunning it out with Willie the grifter, as if his papers didn't report on the dire condition of his properties. No integrity. Imagine while they're over there, they ask William question about the property, the slumlord. I need to ring the end games again because every single thing you and Prince Harry has said is coming true. Okay, imagine, I'll go into that. There's one comment. Imagine 2 days of mute silence by the normal won't stop lying with a crew. Absolutely amazing. What did they say here about the end game? Okay, read. Okay, she fixed her car. Alright, so let's leave that alone. This is an ad. This is more thing about him being slumlord. Okay, there's a lot of comment here. The squad are laughing. Oh, there's videos. What is that? 2 minutes. Okay, this is new. 2 minutes and 17 seconds. What's his name? Mr. O'Brien. Let's see what he has to say here.
Hugh, what would you like to say?
James, hello there.
Hello, Hugh.
I've been looking forward to this. Here we go. So, James, you may remember I'm a veteran, and
Yes.
for the past 14 years I've been supporting veterans and helping them. And actually, today, of course, is the first day of the week of remembrance. So it's a really important week for our military and veterans and their families. We all know that successive governments have let them down and failed them. But one area in particular that really makes my blood boil is the whole issue of homelessness.
Yes.
I believe there are nearly 2,500 homeless veterans as we speak around the UK. And thankfully, of course, we now have a senior member of the royal family who's the self-appointed head of homelessness, or certainly the fight against homelessness.
Can we not hold those two things at the same time? Is it absurd for somebody in possession of what he's in possession of to cast himself as a antidote to homelessness? I think it probably is, but I'd quite like it not to be.
No, what riles me, I'm afraid, is what I'm going to say next, is that the highest demographic for homeless veterans in this country is in which county, do you think?
Well, I'm going to say Cornwall because I'm good at quizzes.
Correct answer.
Is it really? How do you know that? Are you sure? Because I haven't checked it.
I'm absolutely 110% sure. And last year I went down to just outside Penzance to try and support one of my former soldiers who runs a veterans retreat called Noon Craig. And they looked after veterans by taking them, back in amongst one another, back out to nature, and all being supported by, charities, good people of the UK, etc. And that very same retreat got thrown off their land.
Wow.
And became homeless themselves. And, we wrote to the Duchy of Cornwall on numerous occasions and never...
Very interesting. Luckily, I scrolled down. He wants to compete with William. William wants to...
Hugh, what would you like to say?
William wants to compete with Harry. There are so many opportunities for him to be almost at the same level as Harry. Why don't he provide housing for those vets? Wow. Okay, so this is oh Lord. What is this now? Okay, let's see here.
Some tenants say they are in fuel poverty and their homes are cold and hard to heat. The Duchy has made promises to reduce all its carbon emissions. But working with the Mirror newspaper, our analysis of its rented residential property reveals many homes it owns are still in the worst category of energy efficiency. Out of nearly 500 certified...
I'm sure if they work with an architect and there are engineers who specialize in this kind of things, special energy efficiencies, even if those buildings are old, there are ways they could do it. There are ways they could do it. But I don't think they care too much about it. They just want to throw words out there. It's up to the people who live in those properties to come out and say their things. Because the papers, the tabloid, have them covered. Them meaning the royal family. I'm wondering now. I'm just curious. Because Charles had the Cornwall, for over 50 years. He didn't do that. That's his problem as well. And now that William has it, because, the Queen died, everyone moved up one step further. If the horse, the one next to Charles, then hit some of these as well. I don't know. I'm just curious because this woman is so mean in many ways. But let's continue.
Homes, we found 14% failed with F or G ratings. Some tenants say they are in fuel poverty and their homes are cold and hard to heat. One sent us photos of mold and watermarks that appear every winter.
The thing is that because it's not their property, the people who are renting it, they can't really... I don't know the rules in the UK. But if it's not theirs, they cannot do certain things. Okay, in terms of structure and kind of things, because it's not their property. There are things that can be done, but I don't think they care. The institution, the royal family, they don't care. Because there are ways things can be done.
Yeah, so this one here.
We showed our evidence to the chairman of the Property Energy Professionals Association.
Okay, so that's that.
Well, this is the worst performing kind of property. It is more likely to be a cold, drafty, hard to heat property. The rating is very, very low indeed. In terms of carbon emissions, this is a very polluting property. 13 tons of carbon, which is more than double a typical property in the UK.
You know what crossed my mind? The Grenfell. Almost the same thing. And they're trying to cut corners. And I spoke about Grenfell in two videos. And I think one was this year as well. And the first time was when I came across it. And I explained the structure, my humble opinion of that. But there are special people who specialize in those kind of things. Sometimes it's some minor thing, like he was just saying, draft. Maybe there are some holes, certain places that allowing air to come in. All you have to do is seal it. If it's the property is warmed by wood burning fireplace or something like that, Right? If the hole is, or if there are cracks around the walls, preventing to seal in the heat, so that, you know, some minor thing, all you have to do is seal the hole or something like that to make it work. But in this day and age, why can they not modernize it? No wonder why Fragmore, Harry and Meghan spend their money. Okay, perfect example, like I was saying, in terms of things that can be done. Fragmore Cottage, when Harry and Meghan were moving into it, then they renovated and they bring it to somewhat a standard. And then Charles, oh God, every time I think about it, and took it away from them. But anyway, Fragmore Cottage, all property, like I was just saying, I completely forgot about that. There are ways these things can be, you know, be modified or renovated to bring up to standard. There are ways.
I would kind of expect to see a very small landlord here, somebody who doesn't really understand the regulations. Maybe they're a landlord that doesn't care about the regulations.
That's
and
it.
they're just hoping they don't get noticed.
Because there's the thing here. They have people in every places to cover for them. So in order for this to crack, is to make it public and bring people like him, put them in camera to talk about it. Hopefully the people, I don't know, do the people in the UK cares? That's another thing. Do the people in the UK cares? If no one is talking about it and pushing for it to change, they're not going to do anything. But anyway, let's continue.
Well, we can reveal to you that the landlord we are talking about is the Duchy of Cornwall, which was managed for about 50 years by
Charles,
who is now the king,
Right.
and is now run by Prince William.
Okay, that does surprise me. That is surprising to hear.
I'm glad they didn't tell him at the beginning, because he would have made excuses. So you get his full attention, you know, saying the truth for regular people. But once you know it's the king, there it is. What is that? Let's listen.
These accounts, mostly royal experts.
Oh.
Is this one mine? I don't understand what that means. Someone can just call themselves a royal expert. That's a question for your husband. People can just call themselves royal experts.
No, but it's the same as royal correspondent. Royal correspondent is a title, I suppose, that is given to a select group of journalists.
The same way the royal William's office call him a statesman. So he call himself statesman. Therefore, he thinks he is a statesman.
Those newspapers can use them and their stories with royal correspondent as credible fact, just so that whatever the papers print can come with extra credibility. I mean, anyone can be a royal expert. The whole point of it is to try and lend legitimacy to media articles, and they get paid for it.
And this is why the squad keep on telling themselves they are royal experts too, or body language experts. Sometimes I call myself that too. So William thinks, hey, I'm a statesman. So therefore, he is a statesman. I'm saying it again.
That sort of press pack of royal correspondence is essentially just an extended PR arm of the royal family. So it's been an agreement that's been there for over 30 years.
These accounts.
Oh, she's coming with all of these. Oh my God, how much more does she has? Okay, so there's more videos. Let's go over them. I didn't expect these videos. It's just scrolling down and I happen to see them.
I to put this quarry next to Buckingham Palace for a few months and see how they get on with the dust and the fumes.
That's from the documentary.
The Duchy is no longer taking a cut from the minerals extracted at the quarry, but it is still making money by charging the company an annual rent for part of the land.
Oh my God.
By investing in nature-based solutions, we can help mitigate the worst effects of water planets.
Oh my God.
Get back on a healthy path.
Our research shows how the Duchy of Cornwall isn't just profiting from existing mining deals, but striking new ones, often at odds with local residents and environmental campaigners. gas.
Earthshot.
As recently as this June, it granted a new license to a drilling company to search across Cornwall, including in wheel form, a place of outstanding heritage and natural beauty, which was a shock to many local residents like John Lake.
I personally viewed that as a great sadness and a great disappointment, because these are the people that we know have done so much towards sustainability and worldwide acknowledged credentials in green and environmental concerns, but we expected something different from them.
Give you a word of salad, go sit down, leave them alone.
It's responding to the government's industrial strategy that encourages investment in UK sources of minerals, and all companies have to meet high environmental standards. However, the people living in Wheel 4 are worried about the effect new mine works might have on historic environmental damage caused by mining in the past.
150 years ago, the Great Wheel 4 mine here was one of the biggest and most successful mines in the area. But the legacy of that mining is that the water that is now contained within that mine has become contaminated with metals.
Okay, this is the thing that Harry was fighting for Okavango River, because whatever the government in that country and somewhere in Africa gave, it's a Canadian company, license to go, drill to see if there's, to go drill over there. And Harry was fighting it because the water, the lake or whatever, the river that's near the area is gonna be contaminated, and this is a river that most animals in the area goes to drink water, and people use that river for their everyday thing. So Harry is very, very conscious, aware of this thing, and if he dare raise awareness of this in the UK, you already see what he's going through with his personal life. So he will not dare talk about it because his own family will, make sure to shut him down. All right, so let's continue. But Harry is very concerned about this kind of things. He raised awareness. I didn't know anything about Okavango River. It's too heavy.
So that water then eventually finds its way into the local stream that cannot support fish life.
There it is.
So the whole ecosystem of the river itself is affected by the pollution from the abandoned mines.
All right, so Harry, that reminds me of Harry, definitely. All right, let's skip this. Prince William, you have the gall and the audacity to give us a lecture on homelessness when 6,000 properties you own and rent out aren't fit for purpose. Hypocrisy at its finest. All right, this one is, was it 1 minute and 12 seconds?
Sorry, King Charles III, Prince of Wales William. Who the fuck do you think you are? So 1 week ago, we've had William all over the TV talking about ending homelessness, or let's all work together to defeat homelessness. This week, we find out he's charging charities, the NHS, the Ministry of Defence, schools, councils, rent, and making millions of pounds. Fucking hell, it's not the 1400s. What the Because the way these duchies are set up, they don't pay corporation tax. They make millions of pounds worth of profit and pay zero tax on it. Excuse me, where the fuck is Robin Hood when you need him? Like, it's one thing if you were charging businesses, but charging other government departments, schools, councils, the NHS to park ambulances in a warehouse when they're not in use. Where are your morals gone? Your morals have receded like your fucking hairline, William. I mean, seriously, take the money, go to Turkey, get that sorted out. If you're going to, live the life of a mafia gangster, at least have the looks to go with it. Do you know what I mean? And yet we spent years attacking Harry and Meghan for earning their money privately. Like, hypocrites. Honestly, enough's enough. That's it. Not my king. Fucking get rid of all of them.
That's what it takes. All right, there's more here. Oh my God, this one is 2 minutes and 49 seconds. I didn't even know this wasn't. Luckily, I scrolled down. Wow. Oh, I need to retweet them.
Every winter, none felt able to go public
Yeah, these are minor things that can be fixed. Minor thing that can be fixed. Yes, for the average people who don't know, yes, it's a lot of work. Okay? But if you hire a professional to take care of that, it's minor. They could do it. What property, stays like that? Do they use drywall? Do they use different... Okay, let's continue.
Their criticism of the Duchy of Cornwall. They told us
it gets miserably cold in winter. I can only heat 2 rooms.
Look at it.
When the wind blows, the curtains start swinging. There's no heating upstairs at all.
The house is cold and it's a struggle. But there's nowhere else to live here. They're not good landlords.
Yeah, the house are old. Those buildings, the properties are old. They just need, let's say, for the bricks, they need to be repointed. The mortar between the joint between bricks. Okay, some are old. They cracked. All right, they need to be repointed. Bricks that chips off or whatever can be removed, replaced one at a time. These things have been done. But I don't know. It's up to the UK. It is up to the UK. They have to fight for it to change. Oh, there's that guy.
We showed our evidence to the chairman of the Property Energy Professionals Association.
Well, this is the worst performing kind of property. It is more likely to be a cold, drafty, hard to heat property. The rating is very, very low indeed. In terms of carbon emissions, this is a very polluting property. 13 tonnes of carbon, which is more than double a typical property in the UK. I would kind of expect to see a very small landlord here, somebody who doesn't really understand the regulations. Maybe they're a landlord that doesn't care about the regulations.
But I'm just wondering, do they have an office where people call and say, this is the problem I'm having at my property? Or do they, they see... I could understand, okay? Like, for instance, I'm always having issues with my husband about this. When we are renting, we purposely do not want to buy because it's a lot of work. When there is an issue with the property, guess what? I want to call the office for them to come and fix it because it's not my property. Because we know how to fix it. My husband said, let's leave them alone. Let's do it. Why? We are paying rent. Like, for instance, the bathroom in our house. We asked them to fix it. They did their job, okay? They did what they need to do. But we did not like the way they put the grout between the tub and the tile. After they did it, we did not like the way they did it. My husband and I, well, let me just say mostly my husband, I help a little bit. We did it ourselves. We bought the stuff and we paint the bathroom because it did not have to do with structure where we're gonna moving walls or anything like that. This is just aesthetic purposes. So we can do that. But if we had to move walls and things like that, we will not dare. Even if we know how to do it, we will not dare do such a thing because this is not our property. But the grout, the painting, we did it ourselves. Okay? After they did it, they didn't do a good job. And the reason I was complaining about it, because when I cleaned the bathroom, because the grout... the mold they put around the tub and the wall, they leave chunks. It's not smooth. Okay, it's not smooth. The person who did it did not do a good job because of the chunks that keeps on popping here and there. Because it wasn't smooth, there will be water staying in between those chunks of stuff, and it create mold. And I'll always have to keep on scrub it, spray Tilex on it to remove the thing. And I usually spray the Tilex, let's say when I'm recording right now, people sleeping, so we don't smell and inhale that smell. So I'll spray it at night to remove the mold. So when I got tired of it, my husband and I, we remove it and we did it ourselves. Okay? So some stuff can be done. This guy, he already said there might be some draft coming in. Draft meaning that there's a hole somewhere. Could be around the window. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of grout to put around it, around the window, to prevent the air from outside coming in. Some of them are minor things, but do they have an office where the people, the renters, can call and let them know? Because they do not live over there. It's not like I'm making excuses for William or the king or something like that. If they do not know, okay, if the people who lives in the property don't tell them this is what's happening, because they live in there, they see the ins and out, how the things is, the bad, the good, and everything of the property, they need to call the office and let them know so they could come and fix it. So if they don't do that, they complaining among themselves. How will the king and William know that there's a problem, or whoever property management will know there's a problem? So they need to call and let the people know, the management know there is a problem. All right. So I'm gonna give a question mark on that aspect. The people, the renters, the tenant, they need to call the office and let them know.
Sorry, King Charles III.
If they do not call and let the people know, your complaining is going to the void. All right, so let's continue.
I'm just hoping they don't get notice.
Well, we can reveal to you that the landlord we are talking about is the Duchy of Cornwall, which was managed for about 50 years by Charles, who is now the king,
Right.
and is now run by Prince William.
Okay, that does surprise me.
It seems like if he had known this guy, it seems like if he had known from previous that it was the Duchy of Cornwall, he will have a different answer for this woman. It seems like many of these people are brainwashed. Whenever it's about the royal family, they have to say something nice. It seems like his reaction is kind of, oh, it's them. If I had known, I would say something different, something like that. But anyway.
Last year, the Duchy of Cornwall's annual report said costs and the historic nature of its properties meant it might not be feasible to comply with future green legislation. Landlords can be fined up to £5,000 for breaking the rules.
See? This image right there. The brick, like I was saying. Okay? It just needs to be repointed. Alright? Hire someone, a bricklayer. Okay? There are ways you could do it, one by one. You know, I'm not a bricklayer, but once you remove a chunk of them, you have to put support before you could put the next one. All right, remove the grout between the bricks to put it. So this is where some draft might come in. If this hole right here goes through inside, this is where the air is coming in. So when you turn on your heater or something like that, it will mean nothing because the heat will go out. Things like that, minor things, could make you waste energy. A little repointing of the bricks. These are old buildings. They just need to be repointed, replaced. Things that, the ones that need to be replaced. There are architects who, you know, you look around. If you want the same bricks, the same color bricks or something like that, you look around, and the people who makes brick match the color of the bricks and things like that. I've done this before. Not me doing the repointing, but work along in a building that needed it, and then shop around, look around, see which company makes similar bricks. You send them colors and all of that. These are minor things. They can be done.
The Duchy of Cornwall told us, we are a responsible landlord committed to continuous improvement of our properties. We work closely with our tenants to actively address the energy efficiency of properties across our portfolio.
Okay, so there's my answer to what I was saying before. The tenant, if they're working close with their tenant, they should know this is a problem. Okay, so they are aware if the tenant are telling them the problem, so they are aware of it. So there's my answer to what I said before, where the tenant will have to call management and let them know what's going on in the property that they rented. So if they work closely with the tenant, so they are aware of this. So there's my answer.
Minimizing the impact on residents. Our investigation has shed light on how the royals are making millions in secret without public scrutiny. Sometimes at odds with their public statements. It's clear the royals' private estates are not only profiting from the taxpayer, they're also operating like any other commercial business. Is it now time they opened their books to proper scrutiny and paid taxes in the same way as everyone else?
William didn't even release his tax thing this year. And then the other thing I was thinking is that Harry and Meghan are not there for them to write the hit pieces on them to, distract people. So that's that. That looks like a very good documentary. There's that. Okay, let's move on. It's to that. Oh, there's the guy again. I shared that already. I'm just looking to see if there's any more videos. Okay, we saw that. Let's retweet that for the. Some of them I need to record by itself. Okay, so there's Meredith. That's a good one. Oops.
Finances of the royal family, but it was coming from a British journalist. Wanted to hear more from this woman, a woman who has been on the receiving end of KP briefings because of a piece she wrote for Tatler, and a woman that wrote a passionate defense of American Duchess Wallis Simpson. So I decided to reach out and see if we could have a conversation, and we did. You are critical of the lack of transparency, which feels like—
Because my video is so long, I shared this already. Oh man, I'm already an hour. All right, for the sake of this video, I'll play it again, but I have this in another. You know what? Better yet, go on Meredith thing to watch it. Okay, I shared this before. All right, what the hell? There's more. What is that now?
Another role the royals enjoy taking on is supporting charities. It's good for donations for the charity and good for the royals' public image.
I'm here, Milchard.
Oh, Your Royal Highness. Very good to see you, sir. Come on.
Sorry about that. Complicated stuff, Zoo.
We've discovered millions of pounds in rent secretly flowing from charities into Charles and now William's pocket.
That's why they love
Camelford
charities.
House in London, owned by the Duchy of Cornwall for decades.
Wow.
In 2005, the royals received a share of the building's rents. Among the tenants are charities like Comic Relief and other charities that the king is a patron of, such as the end-of-life care charity Marie Curie and Macmillan, the cancer charity.
Wait a second. He's a patron of one of the charities that rent from there? What in the name? Shouldn't that be free for them? Are they paying? Oh my lord. They are a patron for that charity who's renting from their own property, and then they're supposed to raise awareness of that charity so the charity could get money, and then that money goes to them. Oh my god. Wow.
Now, I've been very proud to be patron of Macmillan Cancer Support for the last 23 years.
Wow.
Since the deal began, we can reveal it's earned the duchy at least £22 million.
Oh my god. That email. My god. This is why they need the papers, to write headpieces for them so people don't ask questions like this. What in the name? Okay, let me move on. We've seen this. Let me retweet. Let me pause and retweet some of these. All right, I move to the next one.
Kanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together. And if I may speak personally, we are all in this together. Because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.